dun, dun.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yes, yeah. 25 million views on that short video.
You know, it's that or the latest piece of tat from S Club 7 or whoever the kids listen to these days.
With that, welcome to the Unofficial Hobby Hangout, episode 42, which, as Hazy Boy just stated, is a sign of 43 weeks of lockdown.
Nice.
Nice. Extra nice.
Who knew the meaning of life, the universe, and everything was
not
42-week lockdown? Huh?
Not me. I definitely hoped it would be something different.
No.
Well, with all that done, we need to go and make it to 69, I think, at least.
Where would that bring us up to?
I'm guessing 25 weeks in advance, some around July, June?
Yeah, we can do that. I'm fairly certain we can fuck the country badly enough that they'll keep everybody locked down until then.
Very much possible. And if all else fails, we invent another strain.
Oh, I don't think we need to invent one. Keep finding them fucking everywhere they look.
Special for episode 69. Lorna wouldn't watch that.
No, really?
Oh, you coward.
That's a terrible thing to say. You do not watch it. You don't love us anymore. Tiny ships.
Tiny warships?
Spaceships.
Ah, even better.
I thought so. I'm seeing what I have in my Narn fleet because I've plans to resurrect it for Billion Suns and maybe even order myself. I really want an Earth Alliance fleet because Earth Alliance are class, but since I've got the Narn fleet, I can't help but feel I should really just go the whole hog and have a Centauri fleet to fight against them.
Centauri, aren't those the ones from Babylon 5?
Yes. As are the Narn.
With this interesting haircut?
With the massive, massive hair. Yep. Which was a joke that didn't go down particularly well.
How so?
When they're putting wigs on people, they stick the wig on and it's got really fucking long hair and then they cut it to shape. They don't just go, I need you to have short hair, here's a short haired wig. So they put it on and they want this like little cresty thing and it was fucking massive. And Peter Jurasek went into Michael Straczynski and went, what do you think of this? As a joke, Michael went, yeah, sure. Sounds good. And thus the massive hair crest was born.
And everybody in the team for makeup said, fuck you. What have you done?
Well, at least they didn't have to cut and shape everybody, so they could just stick them on and spike them up.
Additional
heads
heads sold
frigates.
separately.
I really can't help but feel like I should strip all of these and redo all the dazzle pattern on them. Now I'm older and wiser. But at the same time, I can't help but feel if I strip them,
you will never paint them again.
Never paint them again, no matter how gashed the paint job on them is.
It is paint and it's on, but I'll leave it that way.
No, well, you know, that's what people have told me. We've all passed a lot of water since then. It's quite good.
Who passes water? Not me. Not me, Governor. So, first thing of the day. Neely. Or whatever you want to call him, her, Ninjili.
Ninjili. That's generally how we go.
Yes. Alone against the bottom.
On the subject of people trapped.
Remain indoors.
Yes. This is... It's mostly solo gaming. Because not just trapped, but trapped in Scotland. Where, you know, nothing happens.
Surrounded by weird people.
Yeah. So he's been playing some solo games and doing little updates about what game he's played and sometimes how it's kicked off or gone down. I thought it was quite, you know, met, I suppose.
So it's one of those projects that requires reading.
Yeah.
Which, as we all know, I'm not able to.
No, well, you're not alone. My brother can't read anything in English. He gets very confused. Very confused. But for people who are after some ideas of things to do during lockdown, if you haven't already mailed a turd to Boris Johnson,
Or two.
care of number 10 Downing Street, then there's some board games that Ninjali has been playing solo-wise. Maybe a good idea in there.
Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Case.
Yep.
Sound a bit like escape games.
Sure, yeah. I don't know what that is.
These weird games where people tend to rip pieces apart because you only play them once and then throw them away.
All right. Oh, don't do that. Never rip things. He does have a Kindle, which,
Oh, Imperial Assault. Yeah, well, that's a game I could play alone. If I ever get to get myself to set up the board.
It's much setup. It's like setting up Battlestar Galactica.
I've tried multiple
a feat
times.
so massive.
Well, this
We
is
used to get our mate Dougie to build the Battlestar Galactica board like 2 hours before we were due to arrive to play the game. It's like the entire Saturday was spent putting together the B5, the Battlestar board, setting it up for the mission, playing the game, and then taking it down again. It's fucking madness. Madness.
Sounds a bit like what's that other weird game, Twilight Imperium, which allegedly takes ages to set up.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. Dune is quite good. It doesn't take hours to set up, but it does take hours to play.
Well, if you're alone and you have time, you can play with yourself all you want.
Well, you can't play Dune solo. Dune.
Oh, shame.
Dune's all about
Betrayal.
political machinations and betrayal, and you can literally do it while you're playing. It's fucking amazing. It's a great game.
I had a friend put himself in the brig the whole game because he only wanted to come for the food.
It's genius. Yeah.
Well,
To be
that's the
brutally
way
honest,
to play.
The way it works in Galactica is someone is a Cylon. You don't know, and to begin with, they don't know either, because it's random.
So
And,
it's basically
like
the series.
yeah. So until that point in the game where you like turn over the card secretly and find out if you've been activated, and then from that point on, you're still trying to do your thing. So you're trying to disrupt without people realizing you're Cylon and spacing you. And the first time we played it, me, Tony, and Dougie had accidentally discarded the wrong set of cards. So all three of us were Cylons, and we were all fucking each other over and the ships over in elaborate ways where it looked like we weren't really doing it. And then it was like, we got to the end, it was like, aha, I win because I'm the Cylon.
No, I'm
the Cylon. And apparently we were all Cylons. We have been from the start, which was very, very much like the series. Fucking great. Great game. Fucking amazing game. So next time we played, we only had one Cylon. Wasn't as much fun, I feel.
I think the one that is the Cylon then suddenly goes, are there one Cylons too now? Is this the way how we are playing now? We're all Cylons all the time? Well, that makes a great story. What,
weirdly, I was playing Sol Tai as well, just hammering through the drink. It was good.
Then the next project, Pack 40 with Scenic Base.
Yes.
So Marcus Lamb is doing Wehrmacht.
He does a lot of stuff. You can't keep a good man down. I only picked this because, I imagine you'd like to see some of your countrymen there.
Well,
and he's got a collection of paints that'll put Tauros to shame there.
Isn't that possible?
You'll see them shortly. Oh, you'll be fucking crying out for them. But it's a really nice little project. Presumably 15 mil.
Would you
I didn't bother checking. But yeah,
Look at those old paint pots.
Bleach Bone, Chaos Black, Badman Yellow, Amnestus Purple. I have an Amnestus in there.
Those are even older than the paint pots I have. And that's...
Well, they're great paint pots. They're still all completely valid, and all the paint in them is magical. There's my Amnestus Purple. All the purple that's fit to shake. I have more old pots, but they're in a drawer next door, and I can't be arsed taking them out. But yeah, regardless of paint pots and tiny Germans, really nice little project.
Yeah,
putting together a pack in situ. They could be 15. They could be bolt action. I think they may actually be 28mm bolt action. Now I'm looking at them carefully, especially because they're on top of those paint pots.
Why is the spotter looking the wrong way?
Maybe he's worried about people coming up from behind.
Or there's a nurse in the back where she's currently changing. I love these projects that go step by step without being too much in depth about this is how you hold a brush.
Yeah, there's nice cumulative effect, and you get to the end where he's got the various layers of greenery, shocking green, goblin green, all the greens, and then when it's done and dusted and photographed, it all ties down quite nicely.
It's more a display piece than a gaming piece, I feel.
Yes, but at the same time, no, because it is bolt action. Because I've just checked. As long as there's no basing in bolt action, so you can put whatever you want on whatever you want, and for things like that, that's perfectly acceptable. For gun, I use those for my guns, which are 120 by 90 ovals, but you quite happily just use that as well. The only real problem he'll run into is people will drop large artillery-like shells or mortars or airstrikes on it, and because it's a big base, everybody's getting hit. There's no dodging that one.
Well, I think this is a emplacement you don't have so much in front than rather in the back. So maybe, or it's on purpose made big to be a distraction from other forces. A very tactical.
I don't know if you've got a pack on the table in bolt action, it will certainly distract. Because there've been an awful lot of people wondering what the fuck they're going to do about that.
Nothing. I expect you to die.
Like ticks on a dog.
Well, nice one there, Marcus Lamb. What do you have next for us in store?
Next,
Infinite Defiance by Psyntologist.
This isn't really much of a project at the moment, but for people who are curious about Defiance, he only just received it. I didn't even realize they were shipping to Kickstarter backers yet, but he received it at Christmas, so he's done a bit of an unboxing and sort of what he thinks of it. But if you're interested in the Infinity or the Defiance game, I suggest probably worth giving him a follow to see what else is going to come out there, because it looks like he got everything, including the Megalodoran at the very end, which is just fucking enormous.
And a lot of package control slips, it seems.
Oh, yeah.
Or is that some kind of raffle system that's included in the game?
No, Corvus Belli take their customer service very highly. And if you're missing something, they go, what was the number on it? And then I imagine they go and beat the person with a bag of satsumas or a couple of billiard balls and a sock for fucking up. There's no fucking up in packaging with CB if you can possibly avoid it, because otherwise it's bruising time. But yeah, that thing, which is the big expansion piece, that's a fucking brute.
That's a chunky boy.
He's massive. He's also, I think, by far and away the biggest Infinity model I think they've released to date. I certainly can't think of anything bigger. If that's, well, there's a It's not priestess. It's a Pano model anyway. But using her for scale, the tags probably only come up to his nipples, which means he's a good 3 centimeters, maybe 4 centimeters taller than a tag.
That's a big boy.
I imagine that will become an I can't see it being solely limited to Defiance. I imagine that will get Shavastied in at some point into Infinity or Code 1. Or is Nomad, that's right. I can't remember.
Is that game based on hex tiles, or why is his base so weirdly?
I honestly can't remember, because I'm pretty sure when we played it, the prototype they sent us was just squares.
Because I wouldn't see any reason other than a hex grid map for giving this thing such a weird base.
They do like hexes though for streets and tiling and stuff in any of the resin bases or buildings. They're all made up of hexes as a design element. Yeah. So.
Oh, here's the word. It is hex.
Is it hex? Wow. I honestly can't remember. I honestly can't remember much beyond trying to make Warren not run into rooms and explode.
Why would he?
Because it's Warren. It's a cooperative game. What if you don't do that, Warren? What if we do this, this, and this instead and win? Oh, okay then.
You don't mean him literally wandering around exploding, but in-game going
Oh, well, yeah.
nuts.
He does that too.
I was just wondering how you get to clean up a studio when Warren has gone ballistic.
That sounds like a job for Justin.
Poor Justin. Always gets the messy jobs.
Best way.
It looks impressive, and I'm scared to think of how much money he had shelled out for this. I'm guessing something along 3 figures.
Oh yeah, no, definitely 3 figures. I think even the core game was close to 3 figures, if not actually that, because all of the models are metal. That Megalodorian, whatever the fuck it is, let's just call him Ron. Ron there is the only non-metal figure. Everybody else is metal.
Megalodron.
No, just Ron.
Ron is good.
Our Ron's over here killing up people on your ship.
Ron from Belly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see. I didn't back that in the end because I couldn't. I think I looked at it and went, no, I can't justify / afford this.
I need
it may have been
on
it may have been on Kickstarter when I was still part-time and burning through my redundancy money, maybe. So I had to make some hard choices and not buy everything. It was terrible time.
You're still having nightmares because of that?
Oh yeah.
Well,
never catch up.
Then fastly venture on to a terrain project. Dreadlord Dunn does a terrain tutorial with DIY pylons and orbital debris.
Done.
Looks a bit like a toilet roll.
It's funny you say that. There's a certain cardboard toiletness to it, certainly. But
it's basically just because it's cardboard and cut out.
Well, the sidely bits are, the plasticky bits aren't. I don't know what those are. Some sort of thing and a thing, which may or may not be.
Maybe 3D printed pieces?
No, I don't think there's any 3D printing in there.
Spare sci-fi bits for decor. So
maybe there is. What's that green thing? That could be 3D printed. Yeah, definitely paint pots anyway. Yeah. The next bit contains bases and stuff.
Oh,
slapped on at weird angles. Yeah. And I'm all for this.
A garden hose. That's a quick connect garden hose.
That's how you get your evaporators, clearly.
Oh, because it's water. So you need water hoses.
Makes sense to me.
Absolutely. And then Nestle comes around and says you can't sell water. Water isn't a human right.
Yeah, we ignore Nestle in the same way we ignore Coke. That time they tried to sell people toxic water.
I thought you were going out the same way we ignore Fantasy Flight not selling people their products.
They sell people their products all the time. Anybody who wants to, get a 12-hour shift in about 4 hours and not sleep, they can get that product whenever they want from FFG.
Just hold the line.
Yeah, it's nice to see little, I suppose,
It's
scattered terrain.
It's
sort of
definitely
tutorials and
different
stuff.
from most sci-fi terrain that's floating around the interwebs. Well, let's see if he does more of this. He has been doing stuff in December, so he had some good day off over the Christmas time. Now get back to work. We need more.
Well, he does say it's 2 unique ways of building pylons. So whether or not this is the end of it, whether there's more to come, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So the next one is an interesting one, a short one.
Yep.
Moji was gifted this. A lawgiver. I'm still thinking how that thing went through postal service without getting scanned.
I imagine it was in sections, because you can see the glue marks where in front of the trigger guard you can see a definite line where the thing was in separate pieces where it was printed, and at the hilt. So if it was deconstructed when it arrived, because he had to paint it anyway, so maybe he had to build it.
Maybe he should have done some sanding on the grip.
Filling and sanding.
Yeah,
maybe that's the textured grip that picks up whether or not you're Sylvester Stallone. That's how they do it. Maybe that's his palm print.
That would be a weird palm print, but
hey, he's a clone. I'm curious as to what the barrel itself is made out of, because it looks like it's a different texture from the rest of it. So I don't know if it's another 3D printed piece or...
I think it's simply 3D printed in another orientation.
Ah, right. So we're not seeing the stripy stripes.
Yeah.
Interesting
one. This would be a project which could use some LED lighting, sound, and movement.
Yes, that is true.
Some voice-activated LEDs going, grenade.
Did you ever watch Brian Jenkins? Used to have a YouTube channel, still has one, but doesn't update it anymore. It's called Templar Crusade 01. Big 40k player. Big, bulky brute of a man. He's been on The Weekender a couple of times. He works with Rebellion, doing various things. He was working on the Judge Dredd TV series, or not Judge Dredd, the 2000 AD TV series. But if you go to his YouTube channel and hook through his old videos, he was set design for the Stallone Judge Dredd. And one of his videos, and amongst all these painting 40k things and building a 40k gaming table and all that sort of shit, and amongst it there's like a half-hour, 40-minute long video where he's just flicking through a folder with photographs and drawings from the original set and filming for Dredd, and just talking about it all. It's great.
So no secrets, only the truth.
Well, yeah.
A bit of what's his face? The one from Mythbusters that is doing the testing channel.
Savage.
Savage,
Adam.
yeah. When he goes off telling stories from ILM or any other movie he has been
That type of thing, yeah.
It's always nice to hear stories from the background and when funny things come. So, next one is a project we had last week.
Did we? I thought I'd skip that one.
So, Glenn, no cookies for you this week.
No.
Next one.
Yeah, that one shouldn't have been in there.
Project Warcry 2021 by Horus 500.
Yeah.
So Warcry is a to me completely unknown thing because I haven't got my box yet. And so he's doing not much but showing pictures.
They are very nicely painted.
Oh yes.
You may or may not get a box at some point. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, I'm not worried.
I had a box arrive in London on the 19th of December. It finally got delivered to me on the 5th of January. That's how fucked the postal service is in England at the moment.
Yeah, I was quite happy when Tom published the update on the OTT store with clarification on how tariffs work for the store currently.
Currently.
Yeah, that's the magic word, currently.
Could change at any moment.
And we will be the last to know.
Well, you know.
It's an interesting color scheme, these. Especially the skin tone is, I think, spot on. The more or less dead flesh looking.
Yeah, I've never understood this. Why people do that for Dark Elves. Because Dark Elves are the purest elf. They've not been fucked in any way. As they always used to say, they were the true High Elves, and the ones sitting in Athelorn and in Ultuan were Bellends. So all my Dark Elves have blonde hair.
Yeah, but...
And normal skin.
But
I've never understood why they would suddenly have weird skin tones.
Well, if you look into real-world history where the inbreeding within all monarchies is... though those don't look healthy either.
Yeah, but there's no inbreeding. The elves are a dying race. The wood elves, who knows with them, but the dark elves were a promiscuous race. There was plenty of families and lots of sexing going on. Don't need to inbreed when you've got such a large population.
As Dutch says, balance with cow heads. I'm still wondering how this headgear is of any use to an army that is crushing through woods.
It's not. I still don't know how the guys with the 200 weapons swing those hammers without catching the hell. I imagine every time they swing it, at least 2 or 3 of them knock themselves out.
Yeah, a bit of a fanatics when they go mental on that ball and chain.
Exactly. But beautiful paint jobs throughout that by Horus, the cheeky fucker.
Yeah. Too many talented people on this forum.
I do like the purple, or greyish purple, I suppose, into green. As it sort of ripples down into, presumably smoke. I'm presuming it's meant to be smoke and not just that they're so poor their fucking clothes are falling apart.
Yeah, some hint to this is magic. This is not a physical cloak as such, but something that shields us.
Oh, who knows? Yeah, drow were black skinned and white haired. These aren't drow though.
Wow. Venture on to the next one. Starminer builds Crimson Fist display board. So this is something he's going to use to display his Crimson Fists. Or orcs, if he feels cheeky.
Hi, Jen. Yeah. It's one of these... I think Steve was asking about it last week, possibly somewhere else there. Not in this, in maybe a weekend or whatever. I think specifically the armies on display. Somebody's building a board for that, and I think it was you, Steve, asking about it. Anyway, the way it breaks down is this: people, when they used to go to conventions, not conventions, to competitions and tournaments, would have their army and would have to move it from one table to another. And rather than put it into a case, take it out of a case, put it into a case, they started using trays to carry it. And then people started doing elaborate trays that all the models slotted into, because you got points for painting. And so when you were setting your stuff on a tray for the painting judging to come round, they just make it more elaborate and then a nice backdrop. And then GW went, you know what, we'll just have that idea. So they came up with Armies on Parade, where essentially people have to make a display board to display their army. Essentially what the tournament players were doing for years.
Yeah, especially Blood Bowl players, when they do little sections of on fields where the markings go through the bases, and then setting them upright in their trays, suddenly you have a real football field.
But he's done some beautiful work breaking out the ruler and the polystyrene and just cutting it all. And you can see the not madness, but the plan behind it, to have this. Presumably those circles are craters, because they overlap the steps and the main thing.
It's definitely. I'm wondering. He's down here. There's the picture with the completed board.
Yeah, but I want to see more than that.
Yeah,
because it's so tight in at one angle, flat. You can't really see what's going on.
Yeah, especially if you compare to this shot. I would like a shot of the completed board from this angle to see how it displays on every level, and maybe even put some angels on there.
Crimson Fists.
Or those, whatever the Space Marines are called these days.
Whatever they're called these days. Front cover fucking Rogue Trader. Sonny Jimbo. Crimbo Festings. Best Festings.
Have I triggered something?
Best Festings.
Only fisting I know is from Fallout New Vegas, when you get on the mission to find Fisto the robot.
Like He-Man.
No,
I fisted long and I fisted hard, but I couldn't stop them all.
So suddenly, something along those lines. You can even interact with him, and then you're getting a blank screen, and after that you're suddenly very relaxed and at the same time exhausted for some undescribed reason.
Why is the glove red? Because she was on the rag. Corny old man.
Is that why Tila walks around bow-legged? Ask the creator, Jim. I don't know. I'm a sweet, innocent summer child. I don't know nothing.
Makes sense.
Nothing. So, then the next one is Uruk-hai the Return. Meat's back on the table?
This is just another starting project, because I like that. I like finding people when they've just started, so I can follow them along the way.
And
but
if they don't continue, you feel better. You feel even better because they're on the same level as you are.
Very much so. So his Uruk-hai with pikes, so you can stick them right up that stuck-up elf's jacksie. He does make a few interesting points. One is the injection of realism into fantasy models helps enormously in their long-term appeal. The stance is correct, the length of the pole, the method of shouldering, the scale of the orcs is not overblown either. There's a plausibility, not like some steroid hulks that are out there. So yeah, he's done 2 20-man regiments, and they do look great when pikes are set up like that. If he's playing another game, he could actually have that base extend further to protect the pikes somewhat, and actually make them able to go into combat. But you know,
possible, or do some more bases. Does he describe how he did the trays, or they don't look like board ones?
No, I think they're MDF, certainly from the cut of them. I think they've just been scratch built from scraps. Say MDF, could be HDF. If I was a betting man, I would say he's got something like a Sarissa or foreground building, and then that's the leftover sprue, because it's about 2 mil thick. And he's just gone, well, these edge bits will be the edges of my my movement trays. We can ask him.
We need a competition on the OTT website. Who does the best thing out of the leftover sprues from MDF kit?
Oh, there's some great shit out there from it.
I mean,
although I will say, anybody who buys Cromlech, good luck in finding any leftover MDF. Fuck me, they make those sprues work. Things within things within things, you know. So if you've got a door archway, then, well, clearly there's enough room in there to put half a wall or a couple of buttresses or something. Fucking ingenious.
Yeah, do not waste anything. Well, I'm just thinking about it because for the last 2 weeks I'm getting the same video recommended on YouTube on what to do with sprues from Games Workshop.
For the simple, I want to say it's like $600, might be $700. For a simple investment of several $100s, you can get an injection molding machine that you can use at home.
Oh, I've seen that Kickstarter.
Just sit there and just pump all your leftover sprues back into miniatures.
Would be an interesting recycling project, to say the least. What? You're getting a injection molding machine, corny old man? Or that video? Oh, you see, yeah. Maybe the YouTube algorithm is on the brink of going mental again. Before we go
on the brink of sentience.
Before we go to the next project, the picture of the project made me laugh very much. And actually, if I can remember the next time I finish a paint pot, I will make a model from it. Beige 5 standing by. Brain matter beige. That's lovely.
Amazing.
Embrace your inner nut job. Hazy Boy 75 is doing Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, sure.
Which is
I never got any further than the actual picture of IG-88 made out of a paint pot. He could be doing anything down there.
Yeah, so he's doing a Han Solo, the classic one, with a lot of brain matter beige. Though I'm wondering how much brain matter beige the Luke Skywalker operative is going to get. Not much, I think. Nope, not at all.
Which is a terrible shame, because I'm pretty sure he's in the chat.
Oh, I lied. There it is. Brain matter beige.
Oh, there we go. Because have you painted the little triangle that should be white?
Yes, I have. He not.
No, not you. Him.
No, he didn't.
No, that's what I'm asking.
He failed. It's even on the box art, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they didn't paint it on the official model themselves, though, to be fair, because Fantasy Flight are too busy with the Colombian nose sugar.
Oi, nutter!
Yeah, you're not wrong on that one. Though I'm still waiting for Atomic Mass Games picking up the ball and maybe giving some information. Though that still can be weeks away, if anything.
I was looking at stuff to buy for Star Wars Legion today. I was like, no, mustn't. Must wait.
On what are you waiting? The next vehicles they have leaked?
No. Waiting on clearing some room out before I buy anything else.
Well, I've taken the vow for not starting another project before I finish one.
you probably won't be able to see. Oh, hang on a minute. You fucking can't see it. I've got another camera. Do, 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 do.
Here we see Jerry in his natural habitat trying to switch a webcam within Skype without breaking anything.
That white triangle
What
is what I'm talking about.
We're not seeing anything.
I know, because it's telling me you are. How about that now? Now you're seeing it.
Oh yeah, we see a white triangle.
There you go. Be like a share. Because if you don't want that, I'm not saying you have to, but what I'm saying is if you don't want to paint that white, you need to carve that off and then hang on a minute, sculpt it back on where it's held up like it is at the start. Do that and then do that. Is that how I come back? Fuck you, Skype, for making things difficult. I will. I'll check it again. 20 minutes. Hold you that.
Zoom works a little bit in this regard with changing cameras.
Oh yeah, much easier.
So nice work done so far, Hazy. I'm wondering, Hazy, do you have any game experience with the Star Wars Legion, or are you simply painting miniatures?
Oh, he's played it. Him and Dan. We're both at the Star Wars weekend.
Well, that's like ages ago. In a different
year
time.
Ago.
Way back in the before times.
Before the event, remain indoors.
I wish they would release some sort of decent single player rule set for that, like they did for X-Wing.
Tricky though.
It
Not
is.
impossible, but tricky.
I still feel bad because some people in my closer vicinity doing another podcast on Legion do play a lot on Tabletop Simulator, and I just I can't. I'm totally missing the haptic feedback of picking up miniatures. Board games online is not my thing.
Oh, there's certainly feedback of trying to pick up miniatures on Tabletop Simulator. I almost had a fucking stroke. Jesus, it's the clunkiest piece of shit I've ever had the misfortune of fucking interacting with in my life. Oh, I've picked stuff up. Oh, they've fallen over. Oh, they've fallen off their base. Oh, physics is balls. This is balls. It's all balls.
Oh no.
I hope whoever came up with it gets cancer.
Yeah, we are not there on virtual reality yet.
Oh, no, very much not.
Next project then. Nos Big Damos.
Yes.
Wobble of Woody Wobbles.
That's the one.
I think we have been here before because I seem to remember the title.
Do you? I've never seen this title before.
I simply went on here because I got notification because there's a new Star Wars Legion project for you to look at.
There is a new Star Wars Legion. Again, there's a lot of writing.
I can't.
You probably no. Well, you can just look at the picture. You look at the pictures.
I don't have the pictures. Oh, look, Rebel reinforcements. And he didn't go for the red R5 from Tatooine.
Nope.
Like I did and everybody's mother.
Fuck R5. He's got a bad motivator.
Yeah, but that's
why do you want
makes
that?
him so special. Diversity in Legion. R5 units with effective motivators.
While he's flicking through that, I will chuck out what the words say then for the people who, like Timberley, don't read. Essentially, it is the breakdown of a game, several games sort of linked together. So you get a sort of bit of fluff about what's going on, what the objectives are, where you're playing, as this goes throughout. Captain Maharg, is it? No, Captain Wolf.
It's an interesting page scheme he has for the Stormtroopers.
Yeah, the
blue and white.
It's nice. I've seen it on a few kicking rounds. I don't know where it's sprung from. Presumably one of the cartoons.
Yeah, it's from Clone Wars. So the clone troopers were much more colorful than the stormtroopers, at least the originals.
There's a Republic force in SWTOR. I can't remember what they're called. I'll find out. It's like they're a force who sent to Nar Shaddaa to fuck some people over. But they've got this really interesting white and blue armor, similar color, but it looks like paint splatter from one side. So their chest piece is, starts blue and then splatters into white. And this sort of repeats on various armor pieces, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So much so that I was thinking about just stealing it for myself. But anyway, so it is essentially a mini campaign of Captain Wolf up against the Empire, and it explains force by force what you're doing, who's going down, what you're going to have in there, and what the objectives are going to be, and what you want to set it up. So he's made up a bunch of scenarios for people to play. God bless him.
And he's playing on a smaller scale than the skirmish rules even allow. So this should be a very quick game.
It's one of those things. Just because a system is made and they go, this is your standard game, and then they go, oh, okay, we're now allowing you to play skirmish using these. Fuck it, Yeah,
there is, I think, I read it the first time in the Cobalt Ate My Baby rulebook when I got that from Kickstarter way back when, which was, it's your game. Play however you want as long as you have fun. Which is a train of thought we should keep with every game we play. If there's a rule that's not to your liking, screw it. House rules work most of the times if you have a dedicated gaming group, so why not change the rules as you see fit?
I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say chances are none of these are even balanced.
No, probably
so
not.
Presumably because it's a storyline that's taking place, so
he started this force he describes in the third or fourth. There was Han Solo, another this Wolf leader, and 2 fleet trooper units against 4 units of troopers, which would be a terrible thing because the troopers would, in a normal game of Legion, shoot them to death if they hit them.
Right,
Well,
that's the way to do it. But yeah, so
a nice
little thing. It's a nice montage of his painted stuff, and also a whole slew of games for people to play. So
some
I'm all
battle
for that.
report pictures would have been nice, but
He may not have played the battles yet.
Oh, very possible. Yeah.
So time will tell. He's even done the theme tune. Dar dar da 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 da.
But
da,
that's the
da, da, da,
filthy
da.
rebel one. We need the other one. Dun, 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 dun,
I think Captain
dun,
Wolf
dun.
is possibly.
Yeah, he is a filthy rebel.
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask, why is there... what are they called again? Russ Filth? Why are they called Filth?
Because when we started playing Saga,
For example?
specifically Saga, the Pagan Russ rules came in the second or third supplement, weren't in the original, and they were so fucking broken. So incredibly broken.
Broken in as unplayable, or broken as in
Oh,
totally
very,
overpowered?
very playable. Oh, so much playable.
So Ultramarines for the win.
That type of thing. Now, to be fair, you could beat them if you just had 2 wits of sense. And at one point, I even told a load of people who were playing in the campaign that I was running how to beat them. Because they kept going, there's this thing, and it does all this fucking damage to you. And you're going, yes, but only if the unit is more than short away from a friend. So just keep your whole fucking army together. And then immediately afterwards, one of them was playing, and the first thing they did was separate out half their force and got wintered to death again. But I mean, the fact that they had ridiculous abilities like that were bad anyway. But you just can't help some people. So Russ filth.
Well, that's finally explains another thing. Not got stood out of bed today for being done. You learn every day.
Every day is a school day.
Next up is then, oh god, Lorna again.
Yeah, well, you can't get rid of him.
He's really trying to kill himself, is he?
Try my patience, is that what you're saying?
or that, however you want to put it.
Look at him with his standard box art, simple as fuck. Bleach bone and wash and blue. You feel happy, Lorna, do you? Do you? Yeah, fucking you varnish 13 more right now. I hope it goes frosty on you.
Frosty the Snowman.
But yeah, really nice set of miniatures.
Don't you just hate people that are so productive and talented at the same time?
Yeah. It's nice to see that he's trucking through it, though. It hasn't just, I've won a prize, it's not something I play, it's going to sit in a corner and gather dust. Which it could easily have been, or I suppose go straight onto Fleabay. So yeah, he's been hammering through it, and they're looking well.
And just by judging on what I see, they seem to lend themselves to a quick paint job.
Yeah, I think.
Simply because of the armor, the clothing, and everything is very much separate from each other. So you have clear lines to work on. There's nothing.
It's weird. You have clear lines, and yet you don't. If you try and put too much detail on, if you find the Heinz baked beans tins, which are in there with shields on them,
Heinz, these.
It's like there you go. It's like a topographical map. You're just looking at lines that go nowhere and do nothing. If you try and paint them in multiple colors, I think you'll run into problems in trying to differentiate where there is no differentiation. I mean, they do have these weird bird heads at the top of those shields and the rags hanging off them, but otherwise, I think you have to go plain, specifically with the spires, or you are in for a world of hurt.
Well, some people, I'm told, love to be hurt.
Well, yeah, people are like that.
Some people like eating spiders, as I have been reminded when watching the unboxing you did from the what's that called again?
War Games Atlantic.
Yeah,
the giant spideros.
Giant spider thingies.
They're great. I fucking love those models.
I think, especially the bigger ones, would make excellent additions for any diorama because of the modularity of the legs.
It's pretty much, once you've got the two that are actually there to balance it on, you can put the other 6 on wherever way you want. And if you want to be a bit mental, you could probably put all 8 on in whatever orientation you want. Just requires a bit more fiddling.
Yeah, and as you said, some people are in for a world of hurt and like to be giving themselves pain, like Lorna is with these paint jobs, you nut job.
Is that a silly putty egg?
What?
Are they 2 silly putty eggs?
Wait, what just happened? Something went bananas.
You've broken it.
Yeah, I did.
Half your screen is fucked.
No,
if you look behind the bean tins, there's a red and a green egg. I'm wondering if they contain sweet, sweet silly putty. Look is done, you say? Oh, I need to go back then and then hit refresh. Sometimes I amaze even myself. See, Clarkson's got a farm for his new solo TV show. Mm-hmm. Just on the subject of sometimes I amaze even myself. And they're selling, I can't remember what this farm's called. It's called something stupid. But they're selling like tote bags and aprons and stuff, as well as the food. And he has a on the front of the apron it says, "Sometimes my genius astounds even me," which I love because that's the one from the African trip where he managed to smash his own back window with a log he tied behind his car.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
He is a bit.
So they are silly putties. There we go. Used for basking. I was right. Well done, us.
See, there is.
Yay! Peace returns to the galaxy. Balance is restored. I don't have to come around your house with a hammer and hit Luke until he gets a white thing on him anymore. Which I would have done.
Next project then. Frostgrave Ghost Archipelago. Duck the fuck.
Where are we? What's going on? Who are you? This.
Frostgrave. Do it. Do it how?
Douglas the Fugless. This may surprise some people, but Doug has been painting.
What?
Oh, no. No one was more surprised than I. And the minute I opened this project, I looked at that, I went, I recognise that face, and it's not from that kit. That's from the militia mob for the Empire. But he's done some really nice work, especially the, I suppose, brocade or piping around that guy's waistcoat you've just gone past. That one there, yeah, if you look at the back, yeah. That's really cute. I like that.
It's a nice, subtle touch.
It looks like he's been looking at suaves or zouaves, how the fuck they're pronounced.
And the minute has a frighteningly grim look in his eyes.
Oh yeah, he's got 1,000-yard stare, that fucker, hasn't he? He's seen some shit.
This is the kind of teacher you don't want to have. There's no place in the classroom you can hide from that stare.
I think we had a few of them.
He sees all.
Generally taught something like woodwork or CDT, they used to call it in my day.
History teachers also good at this. The only time my history teacher actually got excited was at a very strange point in the history lesson. Usually he was a very...
Was he having flashbacks?
No, it was even funnier, because usually he was a very calm and rational man, telling you the dates, wearing his suit, pointing with a expandable gyro pen on maps and going, this is where the Etruscans have fought, and this is where Varus died. And I can't really remember what time period it was. Basically, he told a story about a village that has been ransacked by some weird wild tribe, and he had his gyro pen extended and started going into fencing stand, and they fought viciously and ransacked all the people there, and then they start raping the women. It did a
or maybe it was a flashback there.
We started laughing so hard. I never have seen him so energetic in my life before. It was hilarious.
I'm sorry, children. I must now go home. Someone call my wife. Tell her to be prepared. My blood is up.
Something like that.
I am tumescent right now. Don't look down, children.
I need to sit down.
Oh. I had a really good history teacher who weirdly was into wargaming. Did historic wargaming.
Yeah, some are not as weird as you think. How many has he done?
Well, you know, he had to do a crew, so why not just do a crew? So
sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I thought so. Some of these are going back to last year. So it's not like he's hammered them all out over a weekend, but he is revisiting it because he
needs to be done at some point.
Well, we've been with Doug on his journey from I'm going to say journeyman painter, and if you go back to the very, very initial ones, that's not quite the most basic thing Doug's ever painted. But there's definitely been a really, really good progression in his work over the intervening year. So it may just be that he's got back up to speed and he's going, well, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to get stuck right in there.
There's definitely progress, advancement in painting skills noticeable in this project.
That's what happens when you actually paint.
And the backdrop he's using for the pictures, especially for the later ones, this looks so much like 90s Games Workshop photos. This blue background.
They were all blue to white. I remember those well. There was I think I linked it previously. There's a company there where you can just download backdrops, 3 different types of backdrops, and print them out for doing miniature photography.
Yeah, that's well done, Doc the fuck. Not a golden button yet.
No.
But maybe someday.
Well, not a golden button for this one. It's got plenty of golden buttons. People are going to start cashing those in. I'm going to find fuckers who posted once in 2014, haven't posted again, start giving them golden buttons. Try and lure them back to the site.
Outstanding achievement. Hasn't been online for 6 years straight.
that type of thing, yeah.
And then you're getting a email back. This email address is not valid anymore, and everything was for nothing.
Corny old man. Yeah, his work's terrific. And you know what's really annoying as well, Corny? He's a really nice guy. He was at the Walking Dead boot camp, and we had so much fun. Fuck me, we were in stitches.
Nice guy, you say?
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? He could at least have the decency to be like a bit of a get or something. Or
something like...
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
Oh, yeah, like a cunt. Definitely. I mean, I could almost live with his paint output if he was a cat.
So next project you just linked is Blood Bowl by Taochi.
That's the bunny.
Taoki, or whatever it is he wants his name to be spelled.
Taochi.
Speaking of spelling names, people, if you don't like the way I pronounce the names, send me a voice message on how you want it.
Or just report him to Twitch for racism or something.
Yeah, that's possible too, but then again, I will just butcher them again. Then I will make my own Twitch with blackjack and hookers.
Easy bender.
So, these are your run-of-the-mill current gen, or no, last gen orcs from the basic sets.
Who knows? They're different teams, aren't they? So I think they go side by side. It's the same as the humans. The humans in the new box are just a different team of humans.
No, they actually have different sculpts. The humans. I'm
yeah, but it's a different team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just.
That's.
It's not a new addition, new team. It is you can run them simultaneously if you've got the other ones.
That's true.
Because I think the orc one possibly has more black orcs in it. Did I imagine, or all their orcs just massive now?
They have a troll, and they have, I think, even got some goblins in. So they redesigned the whole, because the current box has big guys for both teams, which were a extra to buy in the box previous.
How did they get Orc Eye Shani? Oh no, actually no. There's no point. I don't need to know. I don't need to know what random things are going through their heads.
And the biggest question is, were they sober or were they drunk?
Oh, I would imagine sober.
Yeah. Speaking of Warren, if he doesn't stop showing off his hobby space, I'm going to murder him.
I don't think you'd be able to find him. He's in the middle of fuck nowhere.
Oh, I'm just looking for that place where the electricity goes up and down all the time.
He's on the Fosses Road, so the easiest way to find him is just to wait for a car crash to be reported with fatalities, and then just go there, because that is mostly what the Fosses Road is. It's like every couple of days, some other fuckers had an accident on that. Aye, very mid-Ulster, but between Coleraine and Ballymena.
Can you tell me what's wrong with this image?
I don't know. Is it in focus? Is that what's wrong? That's what'll be wrong for me.
No, it's much worse. He's showing off painting in progress on an orc team, displaying it on a still in shrink wrap Skaven team for that.
It's all fine. There you go. That's just to bring it up to the right height so you can photograph it. Well done, him.
It's not even unpacked.
It'll be more fun as every time you take a picture, it was a different unwrapped team.
That
Skaven for the Black Orcs, and Undead for the fucking halflings for Troll. But it's really nice. I also appreciate massively the fact that, oh, there you go, the Americana. The fact that he's using just craft paint, craft acrylics.
For the bases.
You know, you can use it for the bases, you can paint the models with it as well. People,
he's definitely
people don't need to piss money up the wall, is all I'm saying.
He's definitely going out of his way of using as much or as many different Citadel Games Workshop paints as possible.
Well, I think it's not their, I'm not going to say triad because they don't do triads because they're not that clever, but that's their, you know, stick down the layer, do a dry brush, do the edge highlight. There's no blending or anything else, so it's easily replicatable across multiple miniatures.
Oh, look, he has got the classic skull white.
Nice. That's how you know the magic's happening. He has an alien crossing mug.
Yes.
He also has a grotesque in the background. Huh.
And it's wearing glasses.
Well, why not? There's a cork board holder thing, which is not dissimilar from my paint rack from foreground that is filled with corks and ogres behind me.
And either he's shaving himself at this desk, or that is some kind of weird basing material. That's.
I imagine it is just static grass. I imagine.
I hope.
I mean,
so.
he's not gone full Lloyd yet. Never go full Lloyd.
I'm keeping all my beards. Oh, what was it? What was he keeping?
Keeping all his pubes.
Oh yes.
I'm pretty sure that's what they were. He can say it was hair trimming and anything else he wants. There's a classic Griff Oberwald. Look at him being tiny. Being so fucking tiny compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Stop. There you go. Look at him. You can zoom in on that. Get right in. Bollock deep.
It shows age. A bit. Though, to be honest, the base alone has been, what, 50% bigger now? From 25 to 32?
32, yeah.
So that's, yeah.
I find it best not to think about GW and their scale creep.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. And
it's.
I wonder why they do it, because...
We know why they do it.
Yeah, but they would make even more money if they would stay on the scale, because then they would
People wouldn't buy things twice. No. If you've bought your Space Marines, why do you buy more Space Marines? Because we've made bigger ones. We call them Primaris. Here are new Blood Bowl teams. Technically, you can use all your original Blood Bowl teams from 30 years ago, but these ones are bigger. It makes no fucking difference in the game, and yet people will do it.
Yeah.
That is why they do it. That is why we get... You can almost count the years by the GW scale creep. You know.
Well, if they continue this on a linear level around 2030 we are at Barbie-sized Terminators.
I imagine that's where they're going. For that stage, the Hasbro Bandai wars will have kicked in anyway. I remember there was a great thing in Warseer. Used to be called Portent back in the day.
Oh God, I remember.
So, and somebody had Portent, and this, I mean, this was when possibly 3rd edition 40k had just come out, and they were predicting, or maybe 4th edition, they were predicting what was going to happen every year, or every edition change up to 10th. And it was like, by the time they had 10th edition, it was like, stats have been reduced to 1 stat. Cool. Every army has a cool value. Space Marines have a cool of 10. Every other army has a cool of 1. You roll a d6 and add your cool value to see who wins. And every year after that, like every edition, the Space Marines got better and everybody else got shitter. And they just dumbed down the rules more and more. I went, they are just heading towards that 10th edition cool thing, and I will fucking wet myself when it happens.
It sounds like the parallels people have been making between current world events and the movie
Idiocracy.
Yeah. This used to be a satire, not a handbook on how to.
Can you imagine the size of GW ogres? Even just look at the giants.
Yeah.
Like what fucking size are those things now?
2 times the of the previous ones, and I think 3 or 4 times of the original giants.
Fuck my hat. Sack my cook. As
did we mention this stream isn't advertiser friendly?
No, I think we forgot to do that. But I'm sure the advertisers will be bollocks deep in here anyway right now.
And if they are,
of course they will.
They should send me some money or minis. Send me things to review and show. Free stuff, isn't that what streamers are for? Sending them free stuff?
I think I love the Mantic ones. I've got 3 of them.
And you paid less than for 1 GW.
Yeah, very much so. But even those they are borderline too big. And I think the GW ones are bigger again. I mean, you may as well add this. It's getting to the point where you could just use Action Men. Just fucking glue an Action Man and Barbie to a base.
Some miniatures or the scale creep, it feels like you're putting a Emperor Titan on a board and just have 1 foot in the center of the board and say, "Oh, I win automatically." Your forces can't do anything.
It's like Apocalypse. You just take a bin lid and you set it down. You go, "There's my template. Anything under the bin lid is fucked."
You all die. Next up, Manda has done
a battle report.
Yeah, which baffled me. We haven't seen battle reports in a long time.
I'd like to go one step further. It's not even a solo battle report. There's people playing. How fucking mental is that? Huh? Had to include this one.
Is that a possibility?
Apparently you are allowed to play games with people. It's been so long.
I wouldn't know how to react if somebody would stand on the other side of the table all of a sudden. Don't touch the minis! Don't!
So this is a game of Saga with a bit of magic, as the Brothers Johnson call it. Well, the nice thing about it is you can use whatever you want if you can find a way to fit it into the list, because the lists are general. So the lists for Saga with a bit of magic are things like undead is undead, fair enough. But again, how you choose to interpret undead is up to you. But then you've got things like the Underground Nation, and they're kind of technologically savvy. They have lots of war machines and weird shit. So it could be like Skaven, or it could be dwarves, or it could be gnomes. There's an awful lot of leeway at play. So likewise with this, you can go, well, I could just play this as a horde army, or an abyssal sort of demony army, and just fit the Tyranids in like that. There's actually quite a nice
I love the
supplemental force in there somewhere where it's all monsters. It's like a special version.
I love the fact she's using Tyranids as one force, and I think Empire, Warhammer Fantasy Empire from the for the other force, and she's using, if I see this correctly, Fallout Wasteland Warfare measuring sticks.
Yeah, sure. The measuring stick's only, well, measuring for Saga is small, medium, well, very short, medium, and long, which I think works out as 2-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, 12-inch, if memory serves. It's been so long since I fucking played a game. But yeah, so you get this little blow-by-blow breakdown of a battle report with miniatures on a table and real people playing against each other, and not just having to go solo rules or like a deck of cards and work out what the fuck that means. Like a real game.
And
I'm getting distracted about Saga.
And she's prepared for the worst. There's a pot of glue on the table.
Well, you know, accidents happen. Especially if somebody's playing with Tyranids. There's always spiny bits to fall off.
This reminds me so much of games of Warhammer Fantasy 6th and 7th edition when they were at our local hobby store.
That guy looks like a Fireforge miniature. I think Amanda's about there. She might be able to answer.
If she hasn't left or fallen
asleep.
asleep.
There we go there. Miniatures are mostly Fireforge.
What? A bot? Where's a bot? Oh, there's a bot. Oh, God. Ban. And he's gone.
Oh, no.
Be gone, bot!
I miss Kimmy Kyla 0254 already. Apparently. What was the what force were the NIDs being run as? Because I seen this appear, because you were posting this as you were playing at the weekend, because it was appearing sort of semi, so it was being run as demons then, Otherworld. Because with all the big monsters in it, there is I can't remember what list it is, it's not Otherworld, but one of them has like a Lost Island dinosaur faction where you just play big fuck off monsters. And I was thinking that would be great, just have them as big stompy monsters, no small people, fucking just 7 dinosaurs, go full Troy McClure.
How many rulebooks to Saga are there?
1.
And supplements?
2, 4, 5.
No, not starting a new project. No.
Age of Vikings, Age of Crusades, Age of Hannibal, Etius and Arthur, and the Age of Magic. I will say Age of Hannibal is the first of a triptych, because we know that Age of Alexander is coming, and another one that they haven't said yet. So.
No, I'm not going to start. Nope.
just saying.
As an example. Next up then is Hellboy, the board game.
Yep. I'll possibly put a link in once I stop smashing Manda's buttons.
You are smashing Manda's button. What does Lena say to this?
Go right ahead. Generally.
So, what is Chlorophyll doing?
Have you seen the Age of Katanas, or not Age of Clash of Katanas playtests that Alvaro and Francisco have been doing recently with their dad?
No.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to corny old man. I'm past you, Tim. You just scroll.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to the chat now. Because that was interesting. They played games that theoretically the game isn't built for, but the game will quite happily play. So it's one of the reasons I threw Clash at Lloyd, because he's been banging on about Samurai for fucking years, and he might actually do them for something like Clash, where it's a small amount-ish of figures, but you've got the option there to go whatever way you want. Because when he's been looking at other things in the past, it's so, even when it's a small amount of figures, the limits are so prescriptive that you can't really go, oh, I fancy fielding 7 samurai and kicking somebody's shit in, or I fancy fielding just nothing but gun-wielding dungers. You know, it was always, you have to do this, you have to do this, whereas Clash is very flexible in what you actually throw them out in. It did, yeah. I absolutely adore it. I fucking threw money at them when they came to do their Kickstarter. It's a fantastic little system. Historicon
2019, that feels like an eon ago.
Anyway.
So this is another nice paint job on miniatures from a board game.
Yeah, Hellboy's getting, I think, it might not be this, might be somebody else who's talking about it. They're going to be expanding the Hellboy board game beyond Hellboy this year.
So they're staying in the Hellboy universe, or how?
Yes. So the Hellboy comics only contain Hellboy up to a certain point, and then he goes away. But they stick with the organization he was part of, the BPRD. And so there's lots of case files of other members of that, other investigators and stuff, who aren't the big red fella, going out and dealing with shit. So they're going to do an expansion. I think they're expanding the core Hellboy game. It's not a new game, it's just expansion 2 Hellboy, where it follows the case files of some of the other members of the BPRD rather than just Hellboy. So
I think this chlorophyll fellow is some kind of avid collector of board games.
John Hurt was Hellboy's dad.
We've got the Horizon Zero Dawn board game. We've got a Highlander board game, Devil May Cry board game. And I can't make out what that is. Do you recognize the box?
Top one almost looks like Dark Age, but it's not a board game. Where are you looking at from? Let me find it. Oh, it's the big first page.
Yeah.
Is that A Song of Ice and Fire, or whatever the fuck it's called? That Game of Thrones things.
I can't tell.
The top one does look like Dark. Yeah, I'm not just imagining that. It does look like Dark Age, but I didn't think Dark Age had a box set like that. Whereas the bottom box does look like A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, but it's the same logo, just flipped on its head.
In which case, the top one would also be A Song of Ice and Fire. It's just some other box, but.
And there's a smaller box on the left side, again with the same logo, which I can't make out, but it's also on the head. Oh, I hate people teasing so much.
Oh no, that's definitely not A Song of Ice and blah blah blah. Cause definitely wouldn't have that. Oh, I don't know that because that's just a Hellboy combat card on top of it. I thought that was box art. You'd have to ask him. It has a very Dark Age look to the logo, but at the same time, it also kind of smacks of Song of Ice.
Chat, there's no help, is it? Can't you CSI zoom all the way in? No, I can't. Because CSI is a bunch of bullshit. Also, what's up with this weird machine gun prop in the background?
Makes you think it's a prop.
Let's just say I hope it's a prop and no real machine gun should be set up at the side like this.
It's just there in case somebody comes in and knows they're having us when they're trying to get a game in.
Okay.
You can see why they would do that.
I can see the reasoning behind that. I do. Dark Rituals, whatever that is again. Well, nicely done paint jobs. We need an explanation on what those mountains of plastic are in the background?
Again, we can ask him.
But they could tell us. Ugleb has done Hellboy 2.
No, I'm looking at the Dark Age logo and it's similar but not.
Count Vladimir
Likewise.
Greshko.
Is this where we are?
I haven't seen the link you put up. Yes. So Ugleb has done a blue-faced, red-eyed dead man on a horse.
Not just a vampire, but the worst kind of vampire. A Huzza.
Huzzah!
With their fucking police coat flapping in the breeze by them. Bastards. Flash bastards.
I always wondered what the reasoning behind that is.
Because they're flash bastards. That is solely the only reason for that coat.
We are shiny, shiny.
Very much so. Look how up to date we are. Look how we are on fleek with our style, as I believe the kids say. Book.
Oh, Kamazotz. Looks like a wrestler with bat wings.
It is indeed a
luchador.
Vampire bat wrestler from Mexico, from that time he went to Mexico. Possibly the only good bit of the new Hellboy film was when he was doing the vampire bat wrestling bit at the start. And then it went very badly wrong.
I never saw that one.
Oh, you should definitely watch it. It's terrible.
You're not going to make me watch things again. I don't trust you anymore after the Urban Sasquatch and the Watch.
Did you watch the Invasion of the Bee? You switched the watch off after 3 minutes.
Yes, I did.
Did you watch Invasion of the Bee Women yet?
Not yet.
Come back to me after that. The new Hellboy's particularly bad because they keep pausing for laughter breaks. You know, where obviously the crowd in the cinema would be laughing their asses off at their jokes, except the jokes aren't funny. So they say something that's not funny, and then there's a pause when nothing happens and nobody's laughing. Everything's deathly quiet.
And somewhere someone is cringing to death.
Very much so. Petey Wheatstraw. Yeah, fuck yeah. Definitely watch Petey Wheatstraw. The Devil's Son-in-Law. That's amazing.
Who comes up with those ideas?
Well, really, Ray Moore came up with that idea. We know who came up with that one. Some others are difficult to tie down.
Oh God!
Can't really call it blaxploitation because I think the only person, well, actually, yeah, it could still be it, except Petey or Rudy in this case was exploiting everybody around him. It's fucking great. It's all fucking great.
Yeah, Ugleb does a nice job on these pieces. I wonder, is this now closing to an end, or is there still stuff coming on? It feels like he should have been
I would have to go through. He's out of the original box and into the giant box of evil, which is what it was called.
It's a fitting title.
It looks like that's most of it. Yeah, he could be coming dangerously close to marking this done, but I think he is pushing to get this done before the next Kickstarter goes, because I imagine he'll get in there. Oh, hell no. Yeah. It's the time they find the drunk and stick the PD mask on his head. Just, it doesn't matter if he gets killed by the devil because he's a homeless man. Because he fucking just hates homeless people.
What?
It's great. That's fucking great. Just watch it. You will not be disappointed.
I'm pretty sure with my luck there's no streaming service in Germany showing it.
Oh, don't worry, I'll
Don't go there.
It's on Amazon. Yes, kick dirt on them until they're buried. That was it. There was a hobo, a drunk, wandering through, falls into a pit, and they just stand at the side of the grave, laughing their ass off, and then just start kicking the dirt over the top of the poor guy who's just lying inebriated at the bottom of the pit for no other reason than fuck hobos. I think it's how that one goes. It is on Amazon. If anybody's got Prime and they want to watch it, I suggest you do so.
It's not on Prime Germany.
Oh my god, that's so...
yeah, I don't know why...
We can get around that.
I don't know why people are doing this and slicing up the market that way. It's so unnerving.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, maybe
we'll
maybe
find a time some week and I will make you all watch it, because we can stream it through Discord.
I need a long heads up then before, so I can get myself some beer. Otherwise I won't make it.
Pretty wheat straw.
Next project then. The Victorian Empire Strikes Back Again by Denzian.
Got another one. What? More projects. I'm sure you're spoiling us. Seen doing something vaguely British colonial and Zulu-esque.
Yeah, I wonder how that ended up in here.
Oh.
So he's doing it again.
Well,
or is he still doing it? I can't remember.
He's always doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it some more and doing it. But in this case, we'd seen it a long time ago when he was building up his own Rourke's Drift, which he's just sort of continued to expand upon.
Yeah, when he started striping sandbags after you generally mentioned it that yours were more accurate than his.
No. He's somebody's wrote him a postcard from down south. Huh. Just while I see the stamps. But he is, I think, revisiting.
Yeah, we were here at November. Mid-November, and then he starts to make weird people with black flags that are not pirates.
Might be a pirate. You're not the boss of her. But yeah, apart from doing bits and pieces for Rourke's Drift, he's expanding into just general Zulu Wars colonial stuff. Because, sometimes you need more. More
is always more.
Yeah, and Afghans. One of the things we were talking about briefly, very briefly, after I'd done my update, was he was going to give a bit of a go, because there is a supplement for Black Powder from Warlord about the Zulu Wars. And it's not great, because, as I've often said, Black Powder was written based on the Perrys and Rick Priestley's Gaming and Stallard, where they all have these 24-foot by 8-foot tables, and all the ranges and distances are fucking ridiculous for anybody who's normal. So even that the battle he's looking at the top there is based on a 12-foot by 8-foot board. Once again, why are these even in fucking books for people to, oh yeah, here's your rule book and here's some scenarios you can play at home? Really? What cunt has a 12-foot by 8-foot board at home? Hands up, please, because it's going to be a fucking fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the people who have bought that book. So he's having to scale shit back.
And I'm even saying there are most people buying this book don't even have rooms that size.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will never understand why they decided to. Yes, by all means, you've all got these ridiculous tables in your houses. Play them, but when you're publishing a book for other people to play, why not drop the scale back to something that is, they accept it as a 6x4. That's achievable for people. 8x4, great if you can get it. But if people have bigger room and more space to play with, they can do the maths and just fucking multiply things by 2 or 3. Go nuts. But starting with it in big league size and then dropping it down is beyond me. He has got Afghans in there, but the current battle he's working on is still a Zulu battle. So yeah, they make me do that. To be fair, I swear an awful lot on the YouTube one as well, and then it all gets cut out or beeped.
I always wondered why the XLBS gets beeped.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's literally for a closed circle of people who pay for the privilege to watch.
Yeah, but I think there's still,
and it's
people, children, and stuff like that. Skin dogs, as I heard them referred to recently, which I thought was fucking fantastic.
Well, this show is not for children in any way, shape, or form.
Have you ever heard people refer to their pets as fur babies?
Not that I can recall.
No, well, it's a thing.
I've heard people referring to their pets as my children or my child, which is weird enough. But then again, people are the worst.
People are the worst. You're correct.
12 by 8 foot table.
Yep. Oh yeah, because everybody's got one of those.
I have literally no room where I would be able to set up such a thing.
It's fucking madness.
I would have to go outside to my garden and make a table that big.
At that point, just play on the grass.
And how are you going to move your units in the center of that thing?
With those big long sticks that you see in World War II films with the RAF, just pushing shit forward.
So you can't have decent terrain because you would be pushing them over again.
Terrain's overrated. Topographical maps, that's where it's at. I hear that's going to be very much the coming thing for 2021. It's topographical maps.
It would look interesting, to be honest. It wouldn't be much fun, but it would look interesting.
Could be a lot of fun. Here we go.
You could use a topographic map and make your miniatures look like some rendering models from a cyberpunk universe and say this is a virtual fight in the Matrix.
That all seems very complicated.
Of course.
Right.
Then,
so here we go. When other people call their pets fur baby, it's fine and cute. But when I call a kid a skin dog, somehow I'm disgusting and the worst pediatrician in this hospital.
Why
like
pediatrician?
Oh, it's funnier as a joke. The fact that a child doctor is referring to the little brat as a skin dog.
This reminds me of this very terrible job that has been meme-ified on 9gag and sites like to hell and back with the why did you fuck her? She lay there naked on my table. What else should I have been doing? Doing the bloody autopsy. You're the worst veterinarian I've ever known.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Oh, jeebus. Let's go on next and final project for the day.
Final project for the day.
Artemis 5150, lovely Autobot symbol as a user avatar, by the way. And he's painted a complete box of Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah.
And he's using acrylic clear bases.
He's done all of these things. So you get the group picture there, but he also dives into each of the individual types, I suppose is the best way of putting it. Spare level head. Excellent. The clear bases are an interesting one. I think they work really well for board games. Yep. I know some people go, they look great because it doesn't matter what terrain they're on. And you go, I understand where they're coming from, but I've never seen a clear acrylic base not look like somebody's standing on a clear acrylic base.
Yeah.
So
it would work maybe on a wintry snow map or something, because you can imagine it's ice they're standing on, but everything else would look like it's through glass. But with board games, I'm pretty much, this is so much better than a black base or something.
I think if the bases were thinner, because they look like they must be the guts of 2, maybe 3 mil thick. So you're seeing an awful lot of edge. If they were substantially thinner, I think they could work well on normal tabletop type things. But I can't not see the edge. So the fact that people go, they blend onto anything, I'm just going, no, they stand out as much as a regular base does to me. I suppose you get away with not having a base, which is good. So that's always a winner.
Yeah,
cuts down on things.
He's done a great job of painting these.
Oh, superb. Even spirit level head.
And I like the fact that he's been able to glue them on bases without getting any weird whitening due to the glue he's used.
Frosting, well, there are two ways around that. One is you just do it in a non-human warm room should help you, and don't handle anything, because a lot of the frosting comes from the grease in your fingers, so wear a pair of gloves. That helps. Secondly, they're all plastic models. If you just take the time and glue them with PVA, yes, it takes fucking forever for them to dry, but you will not get frosting off them.
I wonder if UV curing glue would lend itself here because of the clear bases.
Could do. Glue them, flip them over, and then blast it with the light from below.
Yes. I think that would be the easiest way to get them to stick without any frosting. Though I've never tried using ultraviolet curing super glue on clear acrylics, but I know my wife uses them when fixing glasses, and so they are not making weird color shifts or something. So it should be possible, I think, at least.
Yeah.
We need a jerry can on clear acrylic bases.
You'll be disappointed. I do have clear acrylic bases. They're over there with some Crusaders and Saracens on them. They're all based on top, because I ordered them. It was the same price as getting regular acrylic. And I go, oh, fuck it, I'll get some clear ones and see what they look like. And I went, yeah, I'm just going to fucking throw the spackle on this and sand them over the top. Fucking clear bases.
Yeah, so totally not...
Never say never. I think I've got 15 mil bases for some kobolds somewhere.
I can't
Dog-faced bastards.
When was the last jerrycan? Was there this one this year already?
Yeah, the
P shop, Photo P.
No, yeah, that one for the banners. Next one's on Thursday.
Still a very weird naming scheme for software, Photo P.
I imagine what they were going for was Photopia, like Utopia, but it doesn't come across that way. It looks like Photo P.
Yes, this is the discrepancy between having marketing thinking of names and other people's reading them.
That is true. I tried to use GIMP once, Manda, and I gave it the fuck up. Because people were going, oh, it's free, fantastic, blah, blah, blah. And, I'm going to say it was a dog to use, because that's just an expression that it's not good. It's a dog. The fact that GIMP uses a dog as its logo is neither here nor there. But that maybe should have been a warning. But I quite like Photo P, because if I want to know how to do something, I just Google how you do it in Photoshop, and there's a million people doing it in Photoshop, and it's essentially the same thing, but with slightly different things, like slightly different
That's the main gripe
images.
I have with GIMP as well. I've used it. I'm using GIMP a lot because I have gotten used to how it's working. But it's still weird when you are used to something like Photoshop, which is more easier to use, more the user interface lends itself more to every user.
They're all bastards whenever I have to use them. That's what I'm saying. All bastards. None of them are good.
Especially if your printer is acting up.
It's not even printer. Just trying to do anything. It mostly requires a lot of time, effort, and swearing to get anything done. But I do get there eventually. I managed to get rid of all of the arrows on my Zulu map. Because that map had really nice outlines. I'm going, oh, that'd be good for my deployment zones. But there were all these first attack launched here, second attack launched here, 7 p.m. they came in. I'm going, oh, I don't want any of these fucking arrows. I managed to get rid of them all and like clone stuff. So it was all like, I was quite pleased with myself on that. It was good.
Yeah.
But there were an awful lot of smudging going on. There was an awful lot of, all of a sudden, big. It's like when you draw something in class and then you take your rubber and go to rub it out and your rubber's dirty and you get like a big grey black smudge and then you try and rub that out and it just makes it worse. There was an awful lot of that going on before I managed to get rid of it. It's very annoying.
And at some point it's easier to rip out the page and start anew.
Yeah, oh yeah. There were many of those. But you know, get there.
So is there anything you want to spoil us with? What's the next Jerry Ken? What's your personal next project?
Well, currently I have 24 picts that I'm painting up. Not just because they've all got Todgers out, which if I knew there was a way of definitely getting Justin on the show for some unknown reason, I would definitely have them all.
Look, so many naked people.
And because they're pecs, you can really accentuate it. You can have a lot of war paint with like arrows pointing down, or like just have their wangs painted blue, things like that. You know, eye catching, so you're not under any illusion of what's going on there.
Well, I'm just reminded of the scene in Naked Gun when she undresses and has these big light bulbs on her knuckles going blinky blink.
That type of thing. So that's what I'm painting it this week for Saga, because they should be theoretically relatively easy to paint. The skins are all done on them. I just need to hair, tattoos, and a few of them have got cloaks. Not many, mind you, but a few have got cloaks. And then it really is my Narn fleet, because I do think this could be a lot of fun. Were we on air whenever I started talking about this? No.
No, we weren't.
No, we weren't. Shame, people, shame. I've dug out my Narn fleet from Babylon 5 Wars, because I'm planning on resurrecting it for A Billion Suns, which is coming out in February.
Which is coming out in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. Although don't worry, I've got a copy of it already. And I think I'm going to be interviewing Mike, who's written it. So Mike did Gaslands for Osprey, which I think everybody in the world has heard about, whether they play fucking games or not. Gaslands was amazing. A Billion Suns is not a super simple, barely an inconvenience sort of low-level entry point for everybody. You're not just going to be breaking out the dinky cars for this one, but it's got some really interesting things where you're not playing on one table with one fleet. The idea is you're playing across multiple tables. Now the tables don't have to be full 6 foot by 4 foot tables. You can play on, a 2x2, a kitchen table, and then like pull a chair across and play on the seat of the chair, because you draw cards for like contracts, and the contracts may be take over that space station and download the schematics, go and get that mineral from that asteroid over there,
Intercept
and something else. So it's very rarely just pitch battle with two fleets coming in. But the first thing you do is you go, well, these contracts are worth maybe 5 million space bucks. I can't remember the actual money that's used, but let's call them space bucks. So you go, it's worth 5 million space bucks. Okay, what fleet am I going to put in there? What group are going to go? Well, I could put 5 million's worth in there, but if we get all the objectives, we're just breaking even. Or I can go in there and definitely do everything and get everything. But I'm going to come out having lost money, because you're not playing a captain, you're playing the CEO of like a corporation who's going, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And if you're not making money for your shareholders, then you're going to get spaced. So you've got to balance actually doing the mission with keeping your job by actually being profitable.
So it's a bit like the job you have to do for BattleTech, the PC game.
Yeah. So it's really interesting, because when you start playing a game, you place a jump point, and then you work out your fleets, and then you go in. But it means, I may start off on this table with most of my fleet, but then shit's going on that little table over there, so you can like jump part of your fleet across onto it and start doing that mission, or helping. Or maybe you're going really well, you've jumped a big chunk of the fleet over, done that, you now jump back to here or jump to somewhere else. So you can even just get one board and then like put tape or strings across it or whatever, and subdivide your space into different chunks of space, and play. So you're not just playing on a static map, you're going, well, let's jump a fleet of fighters in there and help do the mission on that little area of space, and then jump back. It's fucking great.
And in the end, everybody is lost in space.
Very much so.
Those are nice, interesting depicts of pics.
I've seen those before. Unfortunately, they were done by somebody about a millennia afterwards. So, the annoying thing is, years ago, possibly not even years, maybe only months, everything fucking blurs. I seen somebody had painted a set of footsore pics really well with lovely tattoo work done on them, but I never saved it. And can I find them again? Can I? Fuck.
Nope.
So it's very, very annoying. I'll just have to come up with something. I'll just paint spirals, write cunt on everybody's forehead.
Well,
How do you know they're pics? They're all cunt.
Well,
written on their forehead.
I finished my Snotling army.
Right.
My Snotling Blood team, they finally got their rims done and a final coat of varnish.
Oh, got the rim job.
Yes.
Nice.
And also the nice chunky boy by Goblin Guild Miniatures. The Master Blaster. Sweet.
No, I checked Footsore's Facebook page, and Footsore also have a sculpting, painting, and modelling page as well. Not on Facebook, just an actual web page, which I went and checked there, and it's not on that either. Also, that hasn't been updated in forever and a fucking day. And they were going so well at the start. It was like me with a project. It's like, do this, do that. Here's all the stuff. Oh, I'm fucking bored now. But shame really.
It almost sounds like a tradition at this point.
Yeah, it's one way of doing it. So I don't know where I've seen them or what's happened to them.
At some point they will suddenly reappear and you will yet again forget to save them.
Oh, no, they'll reappear when I'm done and when I'm completely unhappy with what I've done.
Just to show you how it's properly done.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, fuck, I wish I'd done that now. You shitbags. You fucking fucks. Like the, whatchamacallums. I don't want a background effect, you shit. Hello, ignore the massive tins of drink. Like Narn, dazzling patterns, and I know I can paint better than that, but I just don't know if I can be arsed.
Plus,
stripping them all and doing it again. Although it's a good size fleet to begin with. because I've got nice, frigates and fighters. And somebody in Canada still has a set of the transfer sheets, Narn Dazzle pattern, and I was going, should I order? Should I order? No, I was like, no. Why the fuck?
Your side camera is making color corrections go wonky.
Right, I have no idea where that is.
We're having a black and white video with red sprinklings in it.
Right, that's probably a feature of Skype, yeah, because it's colored on Skype that I'm looking at here. Hang on a minute, I minimize that because I want to see what you're seeing now. I'm curious. Oh yeah, because that's very grey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's much greyer than I normally would expect to see.
And we had that effect when you showed Luke for a short second.
Wow. Wow. Anyway.
Maybe
so, yeah.
Maybe your internet is on drugs.
Well, this is your internet. This is your internet on drugs. What do they say? Look at some plastic there. I attempt to work out and switch my camera back around again. Oh, Jesus, Skype. What sort of I can see why everybody immediately went to Zoom for all their Skype meetings.
Yeah, because Microsoft has ruined Skype after they bought it.
Oh, they've been waiting their whole life for a massive fucking worldwide pandemic that locked people down and forced them all to use fucking video chat, and immediately dropped the ball on that one. But hey ho.
Those look interesting.
Oh, what are those?
Corny Oldman just showed them in chat. Don't use Teams.
Bear with me. Bear with me because unfortunately doing that I've closed them all. I've got that one.
Well, Teams is basically the other side of Skype.
Team.
Bye, Jim. Thank you for hanging out.
Tatty bye.
Don't let the monkeys bite you.
Like the IT crowd with denim. Team. Bet you think this is a photograph of my family. It's not. It's the A-team.
Something along those lines, I think.
Yeah, I'd seen those, and also I went hunting around for Jennifer Haley did a really nice set of Kelp Fianna for Confrontation years ago, which used to be on her Paintrix blog before she broke up with her husband, and those images seem to have disappeared into the mist of time. Now I know I have a 3-inch floppy somewhere with them saved on it.
3-inch floppy.
But I don't know if I can actually work out how to... Shut up.
Now you need to explain to the children at home what a fucking 3-inch floppy is.
I would love to, but unfortunately the last time I explained to children what a 3-inch floppy was, I got removed from the playground, and now I can't go near schools. So I won't be explaining any children. Thank you very much.
Somehow I knew this was going to happen.
No, I don't think they are Vitrix. Vitrix do have a set of naked Germans. I think those are... fuck, I can't remember the name of them. It'll come to me. It'll come to me whenever I'm finished and we've gone.
Probably.
Yeah, almost certainly. I think it's not Essex.
Of naked Germans, I started watching the Barbarians last night. I'm still not sure if I'm liking it or if I'm despising it. It's a weird show.
Their haircut's Dutch. If they've got the Subadai knot, then they're German. Don't need clothes for that. I've heard good things about it. I've a friend in Italy who's a historian, who has a YouTube channel, which is very good if anybody's into their ancients, and he reviewed it and was complimentary. Let's put it like that.
It's a the beginning was quite well done, and currently it starts to be a little bit soap opera-y. What annoys me the most is you just can't have it running in the background, because every time there's a non-German speaking, you need to look at the screen to get the subtitle.
Well, see, you don't have to, because I know somebody had seen it and it was all dubbed, and they were going, "I hate it. It's all dubbed." So there, depending on what you're watching it on, there are options.
On Netflix.
I believe Netflix had the options for dubbed or subtitled, so you could have it all in. Now it may just be Netflix England, mind you. So it might just be it's all in English or it's all subtitled into proper languages.
Yeah, that's
possible. Latin is in Latin, because I know somebody was complaining that everybody was just speaking dubbed for reasons.
Yeah, that's the point that's making it hard to watch just casually, because you literally have to read what's on screen because you're missing vital plot points.
Well, you could just go ahead and watch more of The Watch, which, as we know, is all in English, and you don't have to look at the subtitles ever.
Why do you hate me so much?
I don't know.
What have I done?
Some form of self-loathing, I think. I watched Going Postal.
Yes, much better.
Which, to be fair, when it first came out, I was going, well, this is balls, because, they've changed so much. Now, they still kept more or less the feel of Going Postal, but the book is so much better. But having watched part of The Watch, immediately it was like, right, Lena, no, we're not. There's an American TV company has done a work inspired by Terry Pratchett, and it's not The Watch, and it's not balls. So let's watch that instead. Watch Going Postal. And it's great.
Also, I like the animation movies they've done on the Pratchett books.
Weird Sisters and Soul Music, those ones. Yeah, I think they're great.
Also the, what's the title in English again? With Rincewind and the First Tourist.
Colored Magic, Light Fantastic, Interesting Times.
Yeah, that was a quite interesting series. Especially seeing Samwise Gamgee as the first tourist on the Discworld.
Oh, have they done those? I didn't know that.
Yes, they did. They are a real action people's version, and they did rather well, especially when you think. You remember the scene with the upside down mountains with the invisible dragons?
The worm something.
Yeah, they did that too, and they actually pulled it off quite nicely.
Oh.
And also, not forget Tooth Fairy and the Hogfather.
Must have a look.
So there are some nice.
I generally I never really bothered with any of the Sky things.
Yeah.
Because I worked on the principle they were all going to be balls.
Cohen is the one I still need to see.
Because didn't they have there was something really weird. David Jason played Rincewind. Wasn't that it?
I think so.
Fucking Del Boy. You're going, at no point was Rincewind ever described as being a 102-year-old small fat guy. It just confused me. And then Tatty Bye. And then in one of the other films, they brought him back as Albert Malik for Death's thing.
The greatest thing on Discworld movies is when Christopher Lee is voicing Death.
That is fucking amazing.
If any voice in the Actors Guild has been Death, it has been him. There's no way you can make another voice work like that.
Yeah, and weirdly, I don't think they bothered doing any After Effects on it.
No,
there's no need to.
It is his voice, and I just like to imagine him sitting in front of you, looking down from a raised chair and going, "What have you done this time?"
Done fucked up, boy. Done fucked up.
He would have made a grand father to a Conan-like adventurer. Imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan getting up and then seeing up to the throne, and there's our Count Dracula going, "Nope, you're not doing that."
See, we come back to it again. Invasion of the Bee Women. Conan's father, the actor who played Conan's father, in the original film is our hero.
Oh no.
Working for the government.
No, not really.
Yep.
Oh god.
Yes.
Well, before this totally spirals out of control.
Oh yeah. Oh, we want to stay on target.
Yeah.
Keep our tightly
we're
scripted
close
half
to
hour.
our 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I thank everybody who's there. I thank you on YouTube watching this later and having a laugh at it. I thank you, Jerry, for being here, and we all see you again next week. If some weird orange-faced monkey doesn't push the atomic case button by then.
Oh, yeah. Before we go, I imagine it will happen.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Squinting in the eyes. Monday apparently is some shitty day, we've been told, and therefore we're going to be doing little live streams on Monday, assuming it doesn't get fucked up between now and Monday. so there'll be like 4 live streams, which may include some sort of hobby hangouts. Will certainly include Warren picking the fucking Hero Forge winner, because we're not letting him get away. And
I almost forgot about that.
And I think we're trying to shake down Wayland for since apparently we're owned by them, to hand over one of their writers / games designers to do like an hour-long chat about like dystopian wars in the world or some shit like that. So Monday, Blue Monday, I've been informed it's called. And then I googled it, and it turns out it was invented by Sky to sell more holidays in January. In like 2005, so it's a shit day, but we're doing something for it. So there you go. Yeah.
So until Monday then.
So you should have Friday, Sunday, Monday, us cunts back on Tuesday. It's a non-stop fuck fest.
It can only go downhill from here.
I imagine so.
With that, bye people.